Historical materialism is a theory proposed by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, which is a philosophy focused on the study of social reality, which is that life of people, their development, and their transformation is given as a materialistic philosophy. This theory impulsed a social revolution based on the struggle initiated by the workers against their exploiter. This movement, inspired by Marx's theory, is known as Marxism, giving the foundations of communism, the system that allows the coexistence of society without social differences.
Okay, now let's talk about the main characters of this story, which are at first Karl Marx, a Jewish intellectual and sociologist among others, that gave huge investigations in profit of the society for it to know the dynamics that exist inside it, and the people's behavior. And Friedrich Engels, a philosopher who worked with Marx, writing pretty intelligent and interesting works. In fact, he helped Marx to understand better the term capitalism, due to his experiences in the work of his family. Both were Germans that worked together to design this theory, which brought their communist ideals even closer, using as examples the Industrial Revolution that led to the entrance of capitalism, and that increased their level of concerning about the subject, because it could potentially end with society. Hey bro, look at this! It seems that capitalism could reach a point where destruction could govern. Yes, homie, I've already seen this before. Actually, when I worked in a familiar business in Manchester, I told you about that, didn't I? Oh yeah, I remember that you told me a little about that, and all that production involves with its relationships in society.
Historical materialism is the theory proposed by Karl Marx. Marx was born in Prussia, in a wealthy family. His father was a lawyer. During his youth, he was influenced by the ideas of the French Revolution, because in his native Prussia, there was a feudal absolutist regime, in which there was a lot of privileges of the nobility, and in which the people and the bourgeoisie suffered great injustices. He witnessed the exploitation of human misery during the Industrial Revolution, in which workers had 14-hour working days and didn't have a life independent of their work. Marx was a tough critic of what surrounded him and concluded that idealist philosophy, which prevailed at the time, needed changes. He saw philosophy that focused on the study of social reality. That is, that the life of people, their development and transformation is a materialistic philosophy.
One of this theory's main elements is production. Production is essentially the process of making or growing goods to be sold. As we saw, dialectical materialism is directly related to production. Marx and Engels said that social classes are the result of production level. This means that according to how man is organized to carry out the production is how they generate social classes. For example, ancient farmers, artisans, shopkeepers, apprentices, warriors, priests, and others. These social classes are repeated and determined by each individual participation in society. Historical materialism states that the material conditions of the mode of production determines its organization, and more importantly, its development.
Societies built since antiquity have been based on inequality and existence of social classes, which has been a struggle between the privileged and the poor classes, called class struggle or class division. In the ancient societies, society was based on agriculture and slavery for generating wealth, which is not taken by a few. Political system was based on conquest for wealth. Feudalism system was based on agricultural exploitation. Relationship between the feudal serfdoms and serfs and the political system was based on the monarchy. Capitalism, mass production of goods, exploitation of the bourgeois over the working class, and the political system was based on the republic and democracy. As we can see in these two examples, there's a division of society. The ones that have to work, to live, and the ones that pay them. In short words, the poor and the rich. Through history, there's always a conflict between these two caused by class divisions.
Of culture in the early lexicon of anthropologists, any of numerous societies characterized by features may include lack of written language, a small population, relatively sample of social institutions and technology, and the slow rate of sociocultural change. Slavery is the act of taking persons out of their freedom and put them to do exhausting jobs. Feudalism is the denomination of social system in medieval Europe, in which the nobility held lands to the crown in exchange of military services. An economic and political system in which industry are controlled by private owners. Political and economic theory of social organization, in which distribution, production, and exchange should be regulated by the community as a whole. Political theory derived from Karl Marx and leading to a society in which all property publicly owned and each person's work and paid to their abilities and needs. In a conclusion, are parts or ideologies that change history and our form of thinking right now in the present.
Historical materialism is a way to show how human society has advanced to what it is today, showing this is possible due to the materials, technology, ecology that was given to us to have the world like we have it today, showing how society has advanced as a whole.
I think historical materialism has a lot of good points, but I think ultimately there are a lot more factors than production and class struggle that affect the way society moves.
In my opinion, historical materialism is very important to explain the evolution of humanity through time.
In conclusion, for this and other reasons, we have to keep going through that path full of obstacles and face them to get away of all of those conflicts. Let's keep our direction to prosperity, just as Marx and Engels would like us to continue. Thank you.